Please remember that the college asks students to complete a course evaluation that honestly assesses the strengths and weaknesses of the course and the instructor. You should have received an email from the university. If not, please contact me and I will get you the information so that you can do that course evaluation. I value your honest feedback to help me adapt my teaching approach as well as the materials I use in class. The evaluation and feedback are presented anonymously and are not accessible to instructors until after final grades are submitted. Please be sure to complete an evaluation for every course that you take. So, in addition to the course evaluation, you're also submitting the final essay for this course. Essay number 4 is a metacognitive writing assignment, which asks you to reflect upon what you've learned in this course. So, the weekly objectives for this week, our final week, is to evaluate the course and your instructor, as well as to reflect on your own writing. I have one reading requirement for you from the writer's, uh, geez, the writer's practice. This is found in section 5. This is the end. And who are you now as a writer? That's on pages 215 to 219 in the PDF. Let me share my screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I have a recommended essay for you as well. I'm going to get rid of myself here. Hold on. There we go. I have a recommended reading for you as well. Writing is the Purest Form of Metacognition by Thomas Apong. This goes to an outside link. And I thought this was an interesting story. This is published on Medium, but it's an interesting story that talks a little bit about metacognition, thinking about writing and writing about writing. And David McCullough, as it's shown here in this highlight, explains it beautifully that writing is thinking. To write well is to think clearly, and that's why it's so hard. So you can read the full story. I'm seeing here that it will prompt you to log in with your Google account. I apologize if you don't have a Google account. Maybe I will actually try to save this as a PDF and provide it for you that way if you're interested in reading it. This week, there's nothing to watch but this overview video. I know that most of you tend to skip them anyway, but here I am yammering on in the final week of the semester. There are 2 assignments. One is a discussion board number 10. This is your chance to share with us, the class community, your biggest accomplishment this semester, as well as something you're looking forward to in the near future. It doesn't have to be connected to this course. It could be, but it could also be something personal you've achieved this summer. Maybe you got a new job, a new home, or something that you've worked really hard for, or even something you accomplished in another class. I want you to celebrate your achievements and lift one another up. So be sure to respond to 2 classmates with encouragement and congratulations. This is just kind of our closing exercise. So let's take a look at essay number 4. So this is a little different approach to essay. I use essay in quotes, okay? This is reflective writing or metacognition, right? The task here is a self-reflection of your work over the course of the semester. So you've had opportunities, you've done the writer's memos, you've done some journaling, and you've done some discussion board, all related to what you've been writing, right? So as you reflect on your work, all of your work you've done this summer, analyze the progress you have made as an academic writing. Are your writing skills exemplary of someone successfully completing this course? This is not an analysis of how well I do my job as an instructor or an overall assessment of the course itself. As I said before, you have the opportunity to do that separately and anonymously. Your final critical thinking task is to evaluate your growth and demonstration of the course student learning outcomes, and those are listed below. Think not only about what you have gained from the course assignments, but also what you gained from the readings, the discussions, the journals, and even these lectures that some of you have watched. Examples given from your coursework will strengthen your credibility and should provide the bones for this analysis. In other words, I expect you to cite your own work and support your points. The submitted reflections should address each of the each of the 5 course learning outcomes. I want you to discuss how you've made progress in these areas and offer some examples of support of your claims. So you can do this as a written reflection. If you choose to do that, write about 2 double-spaced 12-point font pages, but it doesn't have to be in a formal essay format. You can instead choose to do a presentation. Maybe you enjoy making PowerPoints or Google Slides or a Prezi presentation. You could record a video or an audio. Try to keep it under 10 minutes because I will have a lot of assignments to assess. Or, if you're artistic and you think a collage demonstrates your fulfillment of the learning outcomes, go for it. I want you to be creative, but also make sure that you present yourself in your best light. So let's take a look at those course learning objectives. Remember, we started the semester in the syllabus going over the course learning objectives, and now we are looking back from where we started long ago, 13 weeks ago, and see how well you have met these course learning objectives. So the first one here is analyze the writing situation or the rhetorical situation by examining audience, purpose, and context. Those of you who successfully completed the rhetorical analysis assignment have met this learning objective. The second one, compose multiple genres for a variety of audiences and purposes, using sources as a foundation for writing in some projects. Well, of course, again, if you've completed the assignments, you have met this learning objective. You've written various genres. You had a narrative, a personal narrative. In the beginning, you've done a rhetorical analysis, you've done some research writing, you've done some very informal journal and discussion boards, and you've used sources as a foundation for writing in some of your projects, right? Third one, apply appropriate composing processes and conventions to the writing situation. Well, what the heck does that mean? Appropriate composing processes. That means that you have drafted, you've had maybe done some pre-writing exercises. I know that we've done some discussion board posts where you've just kind of bounced around some ideas before settling on a topic or settling on an approach. You have, of course, done revision and editing. You've done some peer review that have helped you. So these are all parts of the composing or the writing process, right? And writing conventions. Well, conventions, using proper grammar, learning how to use proper punctuation, learning the ins and outs of MLA formatting, what an academic paper looks like visually, right? You have done all of these things. Locate, evaluate, and synthesize source material appropriate to the research topic. Well, the research argument essay right there, essay number 3, has that one covered. If you have successfully passed essay number 3, then you have fulfilled that learning objective. And lastly, describe what you know about reading, research, and writing processes and how that can apply to, or how you can apply that knowledge in various contexts, right? So, yes, we've learned about a lot about reading and researching and writing, right? How can that be applied in other contexts? How can that apply to your work? How does that apply to your everyday life? Perhaps you have become a more critical thinker, right? And you are starting to analyze the things that you see in writing or the things that you hear or read online, right? Perhaps you have gotten a little bit more critical. Perhaps you are starting to think a little differently about the world around you. So hopefully, and that's my goal, right? Hopefully, you have learned a bit about reading, research, and writing, and you're able to apply that to your work or to your everyday life or to other classes, right, that you're taking. Um, so, again, this metacognitive reflection should address the objectives and include examples from things that you've written this semester. That can be from your journals. We haven't done in class writing, your drafts, your papers, discussion boards. Your audience for this is yourself and me. Your purpose is to show what you've learned this semester. Um, you can format it any way you wish. You're not limited to your writing limited to writing as your sole medium. Feel free to get creative with this reflection. Again, as I said before, if you do choose to write an actual essay, a minimum of 2 double-spaced pages, but you can do a presentation, a video, an audio recording, something that helps demonstrate the fulfillment of those learning outcomes. All right, everybody. If you have any questions, let's take a look at the rubric here. You want to introduce yourself. You want to discuss the attitudes that you've had, your skills, so on and so forth, right? So this again is worth 100 points. Please do not skip over it. This is your final essay, the fourth essay, and it is important to do. One thing I want to stress, the course actually ends Saturday, August 5th, right? I want you to try to get things in by Friday, August 4th, if at all possible. I won't accept anything after the 5th. I just can't because I have a rapid turnaround of having to grade and then put the grades, submit the grades, so that they can be processed and we can move on into the fall semester. So if you drag your heels and you submit things past the due date, they're not going to get recorded in the grade book. Unfortunately, I really can't bend any rules that way because I'm under a time constraint as well. I think I've given you ample opportunities to make up lost work. If you are struggling with something, perhaps there has been an event in your life that, and I know that some of you have been dealing with some pretty heavy stuff with family members this semester. If you feel like you can't complete the work on time, please email me and request that I give you an incomplete. And then we will have to make arrangements for when you can complete the coursework. If you never complete the coursework, that grade is going to turn into an F instead of an NP or a non-pass or non-proficient. So I encourage you to complete the work to the best of your ability, to communicate with me, and if need be, we will make arrangements for you to get the work done at a different time. This does not, I will not give incomplete to students who haven't been in communication with me, haven't really tried to work hard, or only have a very superficial reason for not getting the work done on time. You know who you are. So don't even try to request an incomplete, okay? All right, everybody. It's been a fantastic semester. I have really enjoyed getting to know you as people and as writers, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of the summer.